Your environment has a huge impact on your success. The people you surround yourself with, the information you consume, the places you spend your time, all of these things shape your thoughts, your beliefs, and ultimately your actions. If you're surrounded by negative people who constantly complain and make excuses, guess what? You're going to start thinking and acting the same way. But if you surround yourself with positive, motivated people who are working towards their goals, their energy and enthusiasm will rub off on you. So take a good look at your environment. Is it supporting your goals, or is it holding you back? Are the people in your life lifting you up or dragging you down? Is the information you are consuming empowering you or distracting you? If your current environment is not supporting your success, it's time to make some changes. Seek out people who inspire you. Read books that challenge your thinking. Create a workspace that energizes you. Because when you change your environment, you change your life. Some people think that to be successful, you have to be ruthless or step on others. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Real success is not just about what you achieve for yourself. It's also about the positive impact you have on others. The most successful people I know are also the most generous. They understand that true fulfillment comes not from accumulating wealth or accolades for themselves, but from making a difference in the lives of others. So as you work towards your goals, always look for ways to add value to others. How can you use your skills, your knowledge, your resources to help those around you? Because when you focus on serving others, success has a way of finding you. Perseverance. This is perhaps the most important quality for success. Because let's face it, the road to success is never smooth. There will be obstacles. There will be setbacks. There will be times when you feel like giving up. But here's the thing. The only way to fail is to quit. As long as you keep going, as long as you keep learning and adapting, you have not failed. You are just in the process of succeeding. Think about it this way. Success is not a destination. It's a journey. It's not something you achieve once and then you are done. It's something you work at every single day. So do not get discouraged if things do not happen as quickly as you would like. Do not lose heart if you face setbacks or obstacles. These challenges are not meant to stop you. They are meant to strengthen you. They are meant to test your commitment, to see how badly you really want it. Remember, anything worth having is worth working for. The greater the obstacle, the more glory in overcoming it. So embrace the challenges. Welcome the difficulties, because each one is an opportunity to prove to yourself what you are really capable of. In today's rapidly changing world, if you are not growing, you are falling behind. The skills that got you where you are today might not be enough to get you where you want to go tomorrow. That's why successful people are always learning. They are constantly seeking new knowledge, new skills, and new perspectives. They read books, they attend seminars, they seek out mentors. They are not afraid to admit what they do not know because they see it as an opportunity to grow. So make a commitment to lifelong learning. Set aside time each day to learn something new. It does not have to be much. Even 15 minutes a day can make a big difference over time. Read a book, listen to a podcast, take an online course. Whatever it is, just make sure you're always growing, always improving. Let's talk about taking action. Knowledge is power, but only when it's applied. You can read all the books in the world, attend all the seminars, make all the plans. But if you do not take action, nothing will change. Too many people get stuck in the planning phase. They are always getting ready to get ready. They are waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect opportunity. But here's the truth. There is no perfect moment. The perfect moment is now. You do not have to have it all figured out to get started. You just need to take the first step, and then the next step, and then the next, because action creates clarity. It's through taking action that you learn what works and what does not. It's through taking action that you gain experience and build momentum. So stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting until you feel ready, because let me tell you something. You will never feel 100% ready There will always be doubts, always be fears. Remember, courage is not the absence of fear. It's taking action in spite of fear. So feel the fear and do it anyway. Because on the other side of that fear is where your dreams become reality. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Failure. Many people are paralyzed by the fear of failure. They are so afraid of making mistakes, of looking foolish, of not succeeding, that they never even try. But here's the truth. Failure is not your enemy. It's your teacher. It's through failure that we learn our most valuable lessons. It's through failure that we grow and become stronger. Every successful person has failed countless times on their journey. The difference is they did not let those failures define them. They used them as stepping stones to success. Think about a baby learning to walk. They fall down hundreds of times before they can take their first steps, but they do not give up. They do not decide walking is not for them. They keep trying, keep learning, keep adapting until they master it. That's the attitude we need to adopt towards failure. Each failure is a lesson. Each setback is an opportunity to come back stronger. When you adopt this mindset, you become unstoppable because now nothing can defeat you. Every obstacle becomes an opportunity for growth. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. It's what gets you out of bed when you would rather sleep in. It's what keeps you working when you would rather be watching TV. It's what makes you stick to your diet when you would rather eat that slice of cake. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when you do not feel like doing it. It's about prioritizing what's important over what's convenient. It's about making the right choices, not the easy choices. But here's the thing about discipline. It's like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. At first, it might be difficult. It might feel like a constant struggle, but over time, it becomes easier. It becomes a habit. And once it becomes a habit, success becomes inevitable. Let's address the power of focus. In today's world, we are constantly bombarded with distractions. Social media, emails, notifications, they are all vying for our attention. And in this sea of noise, it's easy to lose sight of what's truly important. But successful people understand the power of focus. They know how to tune out the distractions and concentrate on what truly matters. They understand that it's not about doing more things, it's about doing the right things. Think about sunlight. Scattered, it can warm an area. But focused through a magnifying glass, it can start a fire. That's the power of focus. When you concentrate all your energy, all your efforts on a single point, you can achieve extraordinary results. So identify what's truly important in your life. What are the key activities that will move you closer to your goals? Focus on those. Eliminate or delegate everything else. Because remember, you do not have to do everything. You just have to do the right things. Your attitude determines your altitude. It's not your aptitude, but your attitude that determines how high you will fly. Life does not always go as planned. You will face challenges, setbacks, and disappointments. But it's not what happens to you that matters. It's how you respond to it. Successful people maintain a positive attitude, even in the face of adversity. They see problems as opportunities. They see failures as lessons. They understand that setbacks are setups for comebacks. This does not mean they're always happy or never get discouraged. It means they choose to focus on solutions rather than problems. They choose to learn from their mistakes rather than be defined by them. They choose to keep moving forward, no matter what obstacles they face. The importance of taking responsibility. In a world where it's easy to blame others for our circumstances, taking full responsibility for our lives, it's easy to point fingers, to blame the economy, the government, our upbringing, or other people for our lack of success. But here's the truth. As long as you are blaming others, you are giving away your power. Taking responsibility means acknowledging that you are the author of your life story. It means understanding that while you cannot control everything that happens to you, you can always control how you respond. This mindset is incredibly empowering because once you accept that you are responsible for your life, you realize that you have the power to change it. You are no longer a victim of circumstances, but a creator of your destiny. The concept of delayed gratification. In today's world of instant everything, the ability to delay gratification is a superpower. Successful people understand that the best things in life require time and effort. They are willing to sacrifice short-term pleasures for long-term gains. They understand that the pain of discipline weighs ounces, while the pain of regret weighs tons. This does not mean you can never enjoy yourself or have fun. It means being strategic about your choices. It means asking yourself, is this bringing me closer to my goals or further away? Remember, every choice you make is either an investment in your future or a cost to it. Choose wisely. Your life today is essentially the sum of your habits. How in shape or out of shape are you? A result of your habits? How happy or unhappy are you? A result of your habits. How successful or unsuccessful are you? A result of your habits. What you repeatedly do ultimately forms the person you become. That's why it's crucial to develop good habits and break bad ones. It's not about making drastic changes overnight. It's about making small, consistent improvements every day. Start small. Focus on one habit at a time. Maybe it's waking up 30 minutes earlier, or reading for 15 minutes a day, or exercising for 20 minutes, whatever it is. Commit to it. Do it consistently, because over time, these small habits compound, leading to remarkable results. If you do not believe in yourself, who will? Your belief in yourself is often the difference between success and failure. Many people set limits on themselves. They say things like, I'm not smart enough, I'm not talented enough, I'm too old, I'm too young. But these are just stories we tell ourselves. They are not facts. The truth is, you are capable of far more than you think. But you will never know what you are truly capable of until you push yourself beyond your perceived limits. So challenge those limiting beliefs. Question those negative thoughts. Replace I cannot with how can I? Because when you believe in yourself, when you truly believe that you are capable of achieving your goals, you unleash a power within you that can move mountains. In today's rapidly changing world, the ability to adapt is crucial for success. What worked yesterday might not work today. The skills that got you here might not get you there. That's why it's important to stay flexible, to be willing to learn and unlearn, to be open to new ideas and new ways of doing things. Successful people are not rigid in their thinking. They're always looking for better ways to do things. They are not afraid to change course when necessary. They understand that the only constant in life is change, and they embrace it rather than resist it. Persistence is the ability to maintain action regardless of your feelings. You press on even when you feel like quitting. When you work on any big goal, your motivation will wax and wane like waves hitting the shore. Sometimes you will feel motivated. Sometimes you will not. But it's not your motivation that will carry you through to success. It's your persistence. Persistence means you are willing to stick to your plan and keep working towards your goals, even when you do not feel like it, even when you are not seeing immediate results. It's about showing up every day, putting in the work, and trusting the process. Remember, most people overestimate what they can achieve in a year and underestimate what they can achieve in a decade. Success is rarely overnight. It's the result of persistent effort over time. Success without integrity is failure. True success is not just about achieving your goals. It's about achieving them in a way that aligns with your values. Integrity means doing the right thing even when no one is watching. It means being true to your word, being honest in your dealings, and treating others with respect. It means aligning your actions with your values. When you operate with integrity, you build trust. And trust is the foundation of all successful relationships, whether in business or in life. People want to work with those they can trust. They want to do business with those who have integrity. True success is not just about what you achieve for yourself. It's also about the positive impact you have on others. The most fulfilled people I know are those who use their success to make a difference in the world. They understand that we rise by lifting others. They use their resources, their knowledge, their influence to help others succeed. This does not mean you have to wait until you are successful to start giving back. You can start right where you are with what you have. Maybe it's mentoring someone, volunteering your time, or using your skills to help a cause you believe in. Remember, the size of your impact is not determined by the size of your bank account. It's determined by the size of your heart and your willingness to serve others. Remember this? Nobody cares. Work harder. The world does not owe you anything. Success is not going to be handed to you on a silver platter. You have got to earn it. You have got to work for it. You have got to fight for it every single day. But here's the good news. You have everything you need to succeed already inside you. You have the power to shape your destiny. You have the ability to overcome any obstacle, to learn any skill, to achieve any goal you set your mind to. So stop making excuses. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop looking for someone to save you or solve your problems. Take responsibility for your life. Set big goals. Work hard. Stay focused. Be persistent. Keep learning. Keep growing. And never, ever give up on your dreams. Because in the end, it's not about the destination. It's about who you become on the journey. It's about realizing your full potential. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. So go out there and make it happen. The world is waiting for you to make your mark. Your time is now. Seize it with both hands and never let go. Remember, nobody cares. Work harder. Your future self will thank you for it.
Okay. All right, we're gonna get started. Super excited. This is the first process server roundtable we've done. We used to call it Mighty Meetup. Can you guys hear me okay? All right, all right. So one of the things that I like to do in this is usually when we would do them every single week, I would have some regulars, 5 or 10 regulars that would come. And so I'm sure they're going to pop in at some point as we get going here. So a couple of things I want to do in the beginning, we used to share like who we are, kind of get to know each other, and then dive into the content. But now I think I'm going to switch it. I'm going to share some details, some trainings. People can watch the replay if they miss it, and then that'll give people more time to kind of funnel in. And if you were the type of person that just wanted to show up and get the content, you know, the marketing, how to grow your business type content, you'd be able to do that in the first, 10 minutes of every meeting, and then, leave if you needed to. So, all right, so let's go ahead and get started. My name is Mike Reed. I built a multi-million-dollar process serving company from the ground up, Northern California. I started in 2014, served all my own papers for the first like 2 years, and just really pounded the pavement and invested in some software that now pays me pretty passively. Got into real estate, and so now we're rocking it. Jeff, welcome. We're gonna get into some stuff. We're gonna do introductions after I do the initial training stuff. We're gonna try that, see how that works on these. So that'll give people to some time to funnel into. All right, so that's who I am. Those of you guys that are new, I see some new faces, some new names. We're going to start doing the process server roundtables once a month. I think that's a little bit better for people, instead of every week. And it'll give me some time to build up some content to be able to help you guys as well. So when I built my company, you might be like, well, why aren't you just still doing this? For those of you guys that are new, if you are serving papers and you're knocking on doors on a regular basis, there's always this thing in the back of your mind. What's next? How am I going to grow this? Or how am I going to not have to knock on doors every single day for the rest of my life? If you're anything like me, that's what's in your mind, right? You're passing it on to your son, or you're going to sell it one day. Like there's always an exit strategy. And if there's not, it's because you're really early on in the process, and that is okay. All right. So wherever you're at, we're going to be able to meet you there. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive into a couple things that I want people to know if they're watching the replay or if they're watching on YouTube. There are some resources I put in the chat, and I'm going to go ahead and put it here again. And I'm going to email it to everybody. It'll also be in the community, which I'm going to show you right now. I'll share my screen. Let's go and dive in. Sometimes I talk too fast. I'm going to high school in California. Don't blame me. All right. So here's the community. Inside the community, I have different trainings that you can do. They're all kind of under construction. There's so many. I'm an optimist, okay? So forgive me, but I have like lots of different things I want to add. Probably the most complete thing is in the classroom. You can go the 10K and 15-day challenge, and that's where you're going to find a lot of the resources is under classroom. Right now, the calendar, I'm just putting the process server roundtable, which is what this meeting here, you see it says live. And so just a basic orientation to let you guys see kind of what's available. Inside the community here, what's really cool about this is if you comment something and people comment on your comment, then you get points and you get to move up the leaderboard. And every month now, we're going to do this once a month. Every month, the person who is starting this month, okay, so in the month of August, so when we meet in August, whoever the leader is for the last 30 days is going to get a $100 gift card. I like the coachings, but I feel like people are like, yeah, Mike, we already have your free coaching. We don't need that. So I'm gonna give $100 like Amazon gift card to whoever is the most engaged. And the way that you get engagement points is by making valuable comments. Like we don't want to just have random stuff, but if you have like a shout out, like let me just show you, for example, real quick. So you see the different categories. So maybe you post something and you say, hey, Mike, it would be cool to, if you could answer this or create a poll or something about health and fitness. If you want to do a shout out because you sent something to Jeff and Jeff just crushed it for you, you want to shout Jeff out. Posting something just for fun is fine. A referral board. So I don't really judge this too harshly, but if you do 15 posts in one day and nobody comments, then you know it's a problem. Okay. But that's how you move up the leaderboard, okay? That's how you do it. And as you can see, I'm a I guess I'm a referral rock star. I might have to change these a little bit, the names of these, but the goal is that all of you guys will reach level 9 Mighty Mentor inside the community and be able to start helping with the community and maybe getting some do-re-mi from yours truly. So hopefully everybody's building their businesses and crushing it. I got to update some of this. We're not doing Mighty Locator now. We're actually going back to Mighty Process Server. I'm going to create it as a directory and a community to be able to help you guys however I can. So inside the community, I'm going to post this right now. This is the rate sheet. So Canva rate sheet template. Some of you guys already have these. That's okay. All right. I'm gonna put just for fun. But if you don't have it already, you can go grab the Canva rate sheet right there, okay? Inside the thing after the meeting, okay? So what I wanted to go over today is using the rate sheet. If you've taken my 10K in 15 days, you already know the process. But for those of you guys that are brand new, I'd love to answer any questions you have and dive into it. So we can go ahead and get started and go around and do some Q&A. I mean, some introductions, and then we'll do some Q&A if anybody has questions. All right, let's go ahead and start. I already said who I am. Let's go to Mr. Jeff.
Hi, folks. Jeff Spar in Richmond and Roanoke, Virginia, 30 miles east of Virginia Tech, process servers and private investigators. And my son, Mark, is soon to be taking over the business. Hi to everybody.
Welcome, Jeff. All right, and then we have Mr. Guy. How you doing, Guy?
Good, thank you. Guy Rosenbaum, Rosencloud Process Servers here on the Southern Oregon coast.
Very cool. Welcome. Thank you for coming. All right, and then we have Jessica. Oh, you're muted, hon. Hold on.
Thanks. Jessica Claycomb from Washington, Seattle area. Pretty much level 1 right now. I got my own Google profile, so I just have work coming in organically from that. But otherwise, I've watched every minute of all your videos. So
Oh
I'm
boy.
really taking action, and I've contacted 60 potential firms. So I'm just waiting for that website to be ready so I can push on, because I've kind of taken a break from that until I got the order form and stuff going.
Okay. So we could do some coaching on that. I think,
Yeah.
first of all, the fact that you have watched all of it, I mean, you're like Jeff, she's
I know
putting
I've taken the lead from him. So
and Jeff is definitely taking action as well. Chris and a lot of other folks in the community have really stuck it. So with the attorneys, have you gotten any on the phone that gave you any good feedback right away or no?
yeah, I've gotten good feedback in person and over the phone, but I haven't had any bites yet. So it's been a couple, probably like 2.5 weeks that I did all that in.
Oh, okay. So that was recent.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's super
sometimes
recent.
if you leave them with something and you get their email, like if you're doing the phone method, when you're doing the phone calls and you're getting, you're getting some leads that way, and then you email them your rate sheet type of thing. Um, it's really cool what starts to happen, the how you get people the callbacks. It's like 45, it could be 30 days, 45 days.
Hmm.
Some attorneys only send stuff out once a month. They only get one job that needs to be served, and then they're working these 3 or 4 jobs, but they've already done the initial case initiation, and then they did the initial service or process, and then that's it. And so those cases will process, and then so if you could get 20 of those,
Yeah.
you're doing a decent amount. You could do it part-time. Now, if you get the big shots, the ones that are sending out 2 or 3 a day, well, now you're having trouble keeping up,
Yeah.
and those ones will come. Those ones
Hmm.
will come.
Yeah.
So
There's a golf tournament coming up for our bar association. I'm sponsoring it. I'm doing a raffle and an auction prize. So
very cool,
that's
very
at the
cool.
end of August.
And so, okay. And so what do you think? I don't see anybody else showing their videos. I didn't mention this, but if you don't show your video, I don't ask you to introduce yourself. Adele, I know you're probably just listening on your phone, but she's awesome. Thanks for coming. Thank you for hanging out with us. I know people always show up about 15 minutes late, so we may introduce some more people. But I love that this is a perfect segue into what I wanted to talk about, and it's growing your business. I always love talking about marketing is just like in my blood, and I love helping people and seeing people get results, right? Seeing people get new customers is one of my favorite things. I love hearing the stories. I'm gonna bug you on the website front. Patience is key. Okay. Desi is a freaking rock star when it comes to building websites. She will take very good care of you. And so that'll be pretty exciting. Once you get that going, we'll actually blast that. We'll highlight it and everything.
Yeah.
Usually
Thank
takes
you.
about 2 weeks to finish, but yeah, that'll be fun. Mr. Lewis, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, good. We're just doing introductions. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from.
San Jose, California. My name is Louis. I own Get 'em Served.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
yeah,
Cool. Well, welcome, man. Next time you come, just don't talk so much, okay?
got it.
It's funny, man. Hey, we're just hanging out. We're just getting started. How long you been in business, Louis?
Well, I started back in 2020, and then I stopped doing it in 2022, and just restarted again about 2 months ago.
Oh, okay. What made you get out before? Did you get a job or something?
Um, well, I partnered up to open a cigar shop here in San Jose. Well, took over a cigar shop. I see a gentleman there smoking a
Yeah.
cigar.
Hey,
Um,
guys, buffing.
so my business partner has a bail bonds company here in California called Bad Boys Bail Bonds.
Mhm.
And he's the one that kind of pushed me to get back into it because he needed a lot of documents served. But unfortunately, he had too much work for me. So I had to just not work for him and then just kind of find
Yeah.
other clients because he was statewide.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't.
Yeah, this is a challenge. So getting back into it, what is the thing? I love hearing this. Okay. This is not I know this is a little bit maybe vulnerable for you, but this is so important for people to understand. and the power of this specific industry. What makes you think about getting back into process serving last couple
Well,
months?
I think for me it was just I've been getting I've always got phone calls and I've been known to not answer phones.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's like the biggest thing. Um, I
Yeah.
would get a lot of referrals from local attorneys. I worked for an eviction law firm in my early 20s. So I did a lot of UD stuff for them. And but it's just for me, just answering the phone, like you said. I mean, I'll get voicemails and then I just go back and look, and then I'll have like 80, 90 phone calls over a month period.
Yeah.
And it was just like, this is ridiculous. It's literally just money there. Just wait, and I'm not answering the phone.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like money, I talk about it in my videos all the time. It's like, answering the phone. It's like I try to teach my VAs. It's like if it rings to them and I don't answer, then or they don't answer, then it rings to me. So I know if my phone is this one phone I have is ringing, that it's that they didn't answer it, right? So I'm like, you guys, this is money. And every time I put it to the test and I answer the phone with them, sometimes I'll turn on Slack. I use Slack, and they're on these huddles live. I'll answer the phone and be like, hey, you guys didn't answer. Listen, let's listen and see if it's money. And I want to tell you, like 9 out of 10 times, it's money. It's somebody saying, how much do you charge to serve in this area? And I'm like, well, let me go ahead and send you a link. What's an email for you? I'll send you a link so you can order online from us. It takes 2 minutes. It's the best way to go, and then they say, okay, send them a link. So then my VAs are sitting there like, yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry. Sometimes they have internet issues or whatever, but yeah, it's pretty cool to see. And, I'm happy you came. I'm excited to do these roundtables and see what people are looking for the most, because I love marketing and business growth, which we all do. But sometimes there are issues going on that you could use some feedback from some other servers that have been in the business for a while. In California, they had a thing about, oh gosh, what was it, 5 or 10 years? I can't even, I'm not great with dates, but it was like 10 years ago, 5 years ago, something like that. California had well, it's probably about 10 years ago now. I'm thinking about it. California had a thing for independent contractors, where they were basically, the state was suing everybody for treating independent contractors like employees. And most of the bigger companies in California got sued, and the whole industry was up in arms, because they're just like, what are we supposed to do? We hire these servers, they have to do it a certain way that we want them to do it. And so it really had to dial in the rules on what are the rules for how you're to hire people. But then you look at other states like Florida, where they tell them to show up at a certain time, they print out the papers for them, they do so many things, and they require them to do certain things that really kind of fall under an employee thing. So eventually that state will probably go through that, where it's like, hey, you can't actually tell them when to show up. You can't actually tell them to do certain things. You can't give them a computer to work for you, as an independent contractor. So it's really good to be able, at that time, we actually did have this mastermind. We had 20, 30 people showing up every week, and we were having a great time and just getting to know each other. And that's what I hope the roundtables to be. Eventually, a roundtable could be like, hey, we have a certain discussion we're going to talk about. Today, I like to talk about business growth, what people are doing to grow their business. It's not just Mighty Mike show. I have that, right? It's separate. This is a roundtable for you guys. If you had a topic, so we're going to go around right now. I'm willing to answer any questions, marketing or sales related, operations related. I could definitely talk about that too, scaling up from just being yourself to hiring people. But I know we have a lot of other experience on here too, in different ways, like you just said, with the bail bonds, working that kind of stuff too. Um, I love it. So Adele is in the chat here. She's listening in. She says, what is everyone using for invoicing? So I'll start, and then we'll go around here. I'll call out your name. Okay. If you guys are open to it. If you're not, it's okay. There's no judgment, right? I think everyone is, but just in case, um, I use FormStack. We have an automated system that uses FormStack. So we will send them a link and they will prepay. All of our customers are prepay with 123 e-file. So that's what we do. When I early on back in the day, I used to use QuickBooks Online. I would send an invoice because I could attach a proof of service to that invoice. So let's go around. I know Jessica, you're new, but what are you using?
I use Wave apps, so you can pay by ACH or e-check or whatever they want, basically. It's really clean and you just email them a link.
And it's called Wave, not Waze, the mapping.
Wave,
Wave. Okay.
Wave apps, I think. Yeah.
Very cool. Wave app. All right. That's a new one for me. All right. Jeff?
Well, Desi's got me locked down to sending them when they order online, so they're paying right through FormStack, and that's the simplest way. And for those people that don't want to pay online, then they'll just get an invoice through Serve Manager and click on the link and pay it.
Yeah. Seamless. Very seamless. Yeah. Yeah. It's good. Love it. Perfect. Lewis?
Right now I'm using Square Invoices and QuickBooks, but I'm converting over to Legal Connect's system.
Okay. Yeah. California. Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. Legal Connect's big in California. I know they're going to some other places, but yeah, they're huge in California. Have you been using them for a while? Legal
No,
Connect?
we're just setting up right now, going through. It's like a 4 to 6 week process for the portal and other
Yeah.
things. But we'll see.
I know. I went through it. I know exactly what you're going through. Yeah. Cool. Cool. Well, good, man. Good. I'm looking forward to hearing how that goes. Guy, what are you using?
I'm switching right now. I've been using QuickBooks. I've been using QuickBooks since about 2007. But I've since gone over to the Stripe payment via Serve Manager, and there's some things I like, some things I don't about the invoicing in Serve Manager. But they're working on it, and it's getting better.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty much that way. I do have clients that are on a 30-day, which Serve Manager doesn't do very well. Any new clients I have are prepay unless I know them fairly well.
Okay, good. Yeah. Yeah, when it comes to the 30-day clients, traditional process serving legal support, if you want to say law firm business, is 30-day, right? Traditionally. We've gotten to a place where attorneys know that if you just call me out of the blue and I don't know you, you got to pay me up front. And so a lot of paralegals are hip to that. But eventually, if they're a regular client, and at least in my experience, that's what they would do is they would say, "Hey, can we do I have to keep ordering on your website?" Once they say that, I know it's like, "Hey, you sent me enough jobs where they're like, can we just email you?" But now it's like we have a established relationship. Maybe I'll give them a little bit of a discount or something like that. But at the end of the day, I want to know that I'm going to get paid. And Serve Manager has a feature, not that I want to support them, but I did use them and promoted them for a very long time. They do have a feature where you can actually check off certain jobs that are paid and show them as paid, and they could check off certain jobs and then email them as a statement, like as a one statement. I don't know if it's changed. I haven't used them for a while, but
I'll
yeah.
just say this: you're better off in Serve Manager going through and checking all the invoices that customer has and sending them that, because it'll put all the single invoices into one invoice and send it to them. You
Yeah.
get a lot more detail that way than if you use the statement function. That's one of the problems I have with it. The statement function will just give them the job number and the fact that you owe them money, and of course your customers will call you back because they don't know what your job number is. They have their own job numbers. They'll call you back wondering what everything is. So if you are using Serve Manager, the statement function is not real useful at the moment. But like I said, if you go in and choose all the invoices that haven't been paid for that client and check them on the box and then send and issue that, then they get a detailed list, everything they owe you. And of course, if they click on any one of them, it brings up the total amount, and they can just pay that total amount.
Yeah, definitely good. Yeah, thanks for that feedback. So what do you guys I see a couple other questions I want to touch on here and see what you guys think. For process serving software, I've been working on something with somebody that I think is going to, I don't know if I'm going to end up promoting it. I think I'm leaning towards not, but I think that it's just going to take over because you're going to be able to support your clients. And I wish I could say the name of it now, but it's not launched yet. But anyway, process serving software, I think, has gotten to a point where, they're all selling to competitors. InfoTrack, bought One Legal and Serve Manager and all this. And I don't buy into the conspiracy of, and I don't want this to become a drama fest about that, but you know, I don't buy into the conspiracy that you're going to lose your customers because some big, you as an individual server have the upper hand in your local area when it comes to getting customers. If anything, the bigger companies know they're going to lose an attorney here or there to you because you can give them a more white glove treatment where they can't. One of the reasons why ABC Legal got such a bad name is because that they're so huge. They send out serves all over, and so they try to go cheaper because they're they want to compete on a larger scale across the country. So anyway, what I'd like to do is answer this question and dive into this, where it talks about Adele has some great questions on here. Serve manager, she wants to switch from serve manager to PST. The first thing I would say is like, why would you switch? If it's working for you, why switch? When the software I'm talking about comes out, I think it's just going to be a no-brainer for people because it does 10 times more than all these other softwares and it's cheaper, right? And it's better for the customer, right? But if you have a process serving software that fills out your proof of services for you and you're able to track your jobs and you're able to send them out to servers and stuff, why switch? Because right now, I don't know. She mentioned Rocket Serve. I haven't used them. I know who built it and I know his character and I would not even try it. So, but people who've used it are having great success with it. I say keep it. Keep doing it. Jeff, we'll go around and ask everybody what they think and feel free to comment on whatever it is you want. I just don't want to take too long with one person, if that makes sense. Jeff.
No, so you wanted me to comment in reference to the serve manager and invoicing?
No. Yeah, whatever server software you're using, if more than one, how do you like it and why are you using it? And
sure.
Yeah.
Well, when I first started 30 years ago in 1994, I was doing my own returns because I don't know what was around back then. So, and then after 10 years, to be honest, I don't think Desi was with PST then, but for the first 10 years, Jeannie, who was there,
Yeah.
I finally got on PST. And I don't know when I switched to Serve Manager. But it might have been vice versa. I might have Serve Manager. The bottom line is that I'm with Serve Manager now. It's too smooth for me to leave and go somewhere else. Look, I'm 66. There's not too many old guys out there by the looks of the color of the hair out there. So I'm 66, and if Mark wants to switch down the road and go to PST or something like that, great. But there's no reason for me to switch right now. And I don't believe that anybody's stealing my clients. It hasn't happened in 30 years. Charlie from Patriot, says to me, why do you forward me your emails from your clients? If you do that to somebody else, they can steal your client. I've never had somebody steal a client from me once in 30 years. I don't know. Maybe it's just, I don't know. So Serve Manager is where I'm at. It's where I'm staying for now.
Yeah, it's all about relationships. Like you build a relationship with somebody, and then somebody else gets their name and number. What are they going to do? Call them and steal a relationship? If you don't have a relationship, that's when you run into trouble. If you got a high volume client and you're not taking care of them, you're not sending them a birthday card, you're not calling them and saying, "Hey, how did we do on this last month or whatever?" And I know none of us do that. Right? Like, I'm just saying, if you want to make sure you never lose those customers, build a relationship out of it. That's how you guarantee. So let's keep going here. Thanks, Jeff. Guy, I'm going to order the video the way it shows up here. Guy.
No problem. So yeah, I'm with Serve Manager. I started this 4 years ago, and Serve Manager was the first one that showed up in Google search. So it was the first one I chose. It's been pretty good to me. I like I said, I like everything about it except the invoicing, which they need to do some work on. But I got into this after getting out of the IT industry for years. So I get it. Nothing is perfect in every way. If you build a really good process serving piece of software, then you probably don't have the greatest invoicing and records keeping, financial records keeping system in the back end. So I still use QuickBooks, and I have Serve Manager talking to QuickBooks so that I can use that for my taxes. So at the moment, I'm pushing two things together that were never really meant to go together, but it works for me. As far as any controversy about Serve Manager, I've been part of the initial deal. I forget what they call it, where they're out marketing now with InfoTrack and whatnot, and they set meat business. I am the only process server in Curry and Coos County, Oregon. So, if you want to steal my customers, that's fine, but you're still going to have to serve them through me. So, yeah, I guess I'm a little different in that respect. But, I found Serve Manager to work really well. I've looked at the others. They look like they're good process serving softwares as well. They're just not enough to make me want to change. Sorry about the helicopter.
Oh, I can't even hear it. Yeah. Well, thank you, Guy. I love that. And that's so true. Like when I've talked to the different server software people, they often, back in the day, I brought Serve Manager hundreds of customers because I would set up the websites and then I would say, hey, you need to track your serve somehow. And then there was a natural symbiotic relationship, which worked really well. And then, I had a situation happen where I needed a form for New Mexico and they were like, no, we won't do that. And well, we just can't help you. And so their customer service just kind of went down the toilet. And I was like, I'm big on that, right? Like I'm in a customer relationship, business. I was a restaurant manager for a while, way back in the day. And so, but yeah, no, when it comes to software, it's like a tool. And to ask somebody to switch their tool is kind of crazy. Just because, that's crazy. So good stuff. Jessica, what are you using?
I'm familiar with Serve Manager, but I don't have enough volume to justify using it. So I'm just doing everything on my own. I have my own templates from previous serves I've done. So
Yeah.
I'm sitting back and watching all the drama and I'll see what I choose when the time comes, when I get more busy.
You know what's funny about that? Well, I don't want to go down a rabbit hole, but it's funny about that is I thought about like, well, if I wanted to make some extra cash, I'm retired. Let's say I'm like in my 60s, 70s. Hopefully I live that old, right? And I want to make some extra money on the side and see people, right? And anyway, like an old business, I would call it like Bad News Bear, and I would just serve papers for law firms, and you got to keep your prices low. So you'd have to have your expenses super low. And one of the ways you could do it technically is you could get a FormStack account and a web merge account, and you could create an integration from FormStack to web merge, where essentially whenever somebody fills out one of these documents, you guys with the ages, yeah, okay. I knew I shouldn't have said ages. But when you fill out the form, it'll automatically just complete the form, whatever form you had, right? So you could say, hey, anytime I fill out this form, it's going to automatically populate on the document. And this new software that's coming out does that. And I'm pretty excited for it to come out, but the developer's taken forever to release it.
Question.
Yeah.
Pleading numbers?
Huh?
Pleading numbers on the affidavit?
Pleading numbers?
Yeah. 1 through 28.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, you
I
don't
can't
need
do
that.
it.
Oh yeah, you could.
No, just if somebody would want, because everybody else I'm asking, they're like, no, I don't think so.
You're talking about having that on a document that is automatically filled out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that because you could take a pleading form that already has them on the side, and you could have that be your template. And then when you fill out, you basically what you're going to do if you did this is you would map it. You'd say, hey, anytime I put name and name, it's going to show up in this document on this PDF in this spot. And you have to like pick the spot and you test it. And over time, and I know someone who did this in Reno, Nevada, Battleborn Process. They're professionals. I love this couple, husband and wife. They ended up expanding into Las Vegas. They did what I'm talking about. for property managers. And so when property managers want to do an eviction, they just fill out the form, they fill out her form stack form, and it automatically fills out all the eviction stuff, including the notice, and emails it to them. And they just pay a flat fee every time they do it. She does nothing. I think it's one of the most genius things an individual could create and map out themselves. And I was going to do it back in the day and never did. I just did it for process service to have online ordering is as far as I went with it. So good stuff, guys. Okay, so let's go. So what do you guys want to talk about next? I would love to talk about current events. Someone mentioned ABC Legal bought PST or a portion of PST or whatever they're saying. I personally know Bob Musser. I lived in Florida and I went to the conferences all the time. The one thing I would say, because I don't know all the details, but the one thing I would tell everybody is when you build your business to a certain point and you've dedicated the last 40 years to a company and you built relationships at conferences and you ran for the board and you ran as the president and you're just so into this industry and you've invested so much into a company and now you want to retire. How do you do that? Jeff, this is kind of speaking to you, right? Like you're in this situation. How do you do that? If you don't you're going to give it to your son, right?
Yes.
But if you didn't have a son that was going to take it over, what would you do?
Well, over the years, I've always talked about with my family about selling it. Well, I don't know how this is going to sound, but I think the business is my brain.
Yeah.
I don't think, however many clients I have in Serve Manager, I don't know. I'm very fortunate and lucky that my son's going to take it over because we've got the name base out there, which we spent many years getting the reputation we have, and word of mouth where I live in little Roanoke, Virginia, is Roanoke, Virginia, but I joke and say Roanoke, Virginia. People always say, hey, what processor do you use? I get calls from all over the country because lawyers from all over the country call a partner here in Virginia, Southwest Virginia, and they ask for a process server name or a PI name. They give them us. So yeah, I'm very blessed and very fortunate that I've been able to build it to where we're at.
Yeah, and it's a cash flow thing. So I have personal knowledge about how this works when it comes to selling a company. A lot of people don't understand what's my company worth. How would I sell it? I want to give you guys a basic view of this if you don't know already. Those of you watching the replay, those of you guys on YouTube, this is super valuable to understand as any business owner. Okay, I want you to look at a 20x multiple. What does that mean? 20 times what your annual salary, what your annual gross income is, right? Whatever that is. If you could say whatever 20 times is, that's what your stock price would be. So when you buy a stock on the stock market, you're basically buying that company at 20 times multiple for that specific type of share, for one share or whatever, right? So for example, I think let's say Apple, $2,500 for a share. That's a 20x multiple of what it would sell for if you bought the whole company. Okay. So when you sell a company that's not public, where it has like a solid foundation, it's 99% sure to be successful, you're selling a company that probably will fail in the next 5 or 10 years if somebody doesn't take it by the horns like you are and growing it, right? So generally that'll sell for like a 5x multiple. People normally buy companies like ours for like a 5x multiple. If you have software like I do, it could go for 10x, maybe 12x multiple, but it's got to have passive income where you could buy it and just go sit on a beach and it's going to send you money, like my business, right? So as you're building your company, you want to be thinking about that as like, how do I not knock on doors eventually? Because if you wanted to sell it, you need to be able to have somebody who just has money, who's like, wait, I could buy your cash flow? Yeah. Okay. Well, here's 100 grand. Let me have this $10,000 a month cash flow. Or actually $10,000 a year is what it would be roughly if it was a 10x multiple, right? So it's not that much. It's like $1,000 a month would get you $100,000 roughly. And that would be a good amount. So when you start thinking about selling your business, we did some like quick math there, right? When you start thinking about selling your business or what your exit plan is with Bob, yeah, I kind of don't blame him. You know, ABC is the legal. I mean, who else are you going to sell a process serving software to? Maybe another software company. In general, the process serving firms that make the most money are the ones that are sitting on the bags of cash. And those are going to be the people that are going to be able to afford to buy a software company or build their own software company or whatever. So that's the unfortunate situation that we find ourselves in as process servers is the other process serving firms are going to be the ones that are going to buy you. So you always want to be careful about trashing, you know, different companies' names because they could be the people you're negotiating with on giving you, you know, 1.2 million for your company that really only makes you $5,000 or $10,000 a month. But you have solid customer base. You have great process servers in the areas where you don't have to serve the papers at all. And I've seen, you know, Green Tree Legal. Look up Green Tree Legal. They're a great example of a company that sold for a lot of money, and I know her very well. I won't say her name. I don't know if she wants me to share the story, but the company itself sold. She had to wait for 2 years, non-compete, started another company that is now doing very well. So it's possible for you to, and I could mention a bunch of other ones too. Velocity Legal in California sold to Direct Legal. Provest bought JJL, which is a company out of Florida. These are all, you know, multiple figures. I'm talking about, you know, $1 million, $2 million, you know, 6.7 million. So anyway, I only say that to say that like this is not just something that you have to do as like just to to be able to put food on the table. Like you can actually build a business. And that's what I talk about in the 10K and 15 days. So I don't want to just rant forever here. I want this to be a roundtable. So yes. What were we talking about? 60 days, 90 days. Houston seems to be process servers keep popping up a dime a dozen. It's crazy. Yeah, I mean, you get new servers all the time that pop up all over the place. Let's go ahead and actually pick. I would love, as we wrap, you know, the last half of this, let's talk about what you guys want to talk about. I'm going to go around, think about a topic that you want to discuss. Does anyone have anything at the top of their mind? Be like, Mike, could we just talk about this? Feel free to unmute or raise your hand. The other.
Okay,
Okay, go for it.
All right, let me make sure my audio is on. Okay, it is. I'm going back to where I heard you say in the beginning about be the backup guy and stuff like that, and flyers and rate sheets and stuff like that. I got to tell for the people who are new, if there's anybody out there that's new, I had Sherry. I'm kind of embarrassed because I can't remember her last name right at the moment, but she made me up. She made me up a flyer, and I made some calls, had my son make some calls like Mike suggested about being the backup person, because that's the easiest way to get in a door of somebody, because they all can use a backup server if one day their guy isn't available. So what we did was we made some of those calls, we spoke to a lot of people, and then we backed it up. We actually went out and dropped off the flyers that Sherry made up for us, and with those officers, so we met them face to face, and it's been a really good thing because we got a couple of calls from them that have used us, and we know that down the road when their guy is gone or they like our servers better, we offer them better, you know, white glove treatment or whatever it is, they'll use us moving forward. So I just wanted to stick that out there.
I love it. Yeah, Cherie is awesome, and I love what you're talking about with this, like taking something that's intangible or virtual, if you will, and making it tangible in your face, right? Like you took these rate sheets. I don't know what's going on with my view. Can we see me? I'm on the speaker. There we go. Taking it something that's like maybe intangible, like online, where it's like, is this person going to use this, right? And like taking these rate sheets, printing them, you could make great materials, and then making it real. Because I think a lot of times people think that it's not real, you know? I got my first referral from another lawyer. So happy for that this week. You know, that's I love to hear that. That's so cool. Great topic, Jeff. Yeah. Anybody else have anything they're doing to get new customers? That's a great topic.
Just being out there in the community. Like I said, I'm sponsoring that event, and I'm going to, I've heard you talked about it before in one of your videos, those networking groups, the referral groups.
Yeah.
So I'm in one of those. It's free. Just like if you show up, then you benefit type of thing, and people get to know you. So, and I signed up for this office as a co-working space. So same thing, meeting people, putting your flyer up, and people just refer you.
Love it. I love it. Relationships. It's everything. It's everything. Guy, you got something?
Yeah, one of the things, and I don't do it as much anymore because the laws are ever changing in Oregon. However, I used to market to real estate agents because we have a pretty serious problem here with squatters, and the sellers were constantly looking for somebody to do evictions. I've since teamed up with a law firm that specializes in it because, again, it's changed from something that somebody like me could do to something you pretty much need a lawyer. And I still market that, and that's been pretty good. It's maybe 10% of my overall business, but it's still business nobody else is tapping into. I would, just simply go in and meet the real estate agents and say, hey, if you're trying to sell a house for somebody that's got a squatter in it, have them give me a call. And of course, that's, generally if they go all the way to the sheriff actually evicting them, that's 3 serves per each one of those.
Mhm.
The initial notice, the court notice, and then of course the FED. Just something to think about.
No, I love that actually, because one of the things I teach in the 15K challenge, 15K in 10 days or whatever it wasn't that the 90-day challenge before, is property managers, and so it's basically realtors, like you're saying, they're trying to sell a house. Every state's a little different too, a property manager in Florida has to be licensed as a realtor, or they have to work for under a broker. And but what it is like, if you've ever gone to these group meetings, so Jessica, if you go to these group meetings and they ask you what you do, when you're a realtor, you sell houses, right? You sell houses. When you're a process server, it's so different because it's like, well, what do you do? I serve papers. And it's like, so if I ever hire an attorney and he has a process server, I'm going to tell him, no, 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 hold on. There's someone in my local referral group who serves papers. I'm going to give it to them to serve after you file the papers. No one's going to do that. No one, very rarely is someone going to do that. So when you're in those local communities like you're doing, it's so beneficial to be like a judgment recovery person or whatever the laws. You got to look up the laws in your area. But when I said in this group setting, and I think I've said this in videos before, when I said it in this group setting and I said, I do debt collection, judgment recovery. I'm not a debt collector, but I do judgment recovery. So if you already have uh, a judgment against the person, we can attach their wages. We can put a lien on their house. We can, and so what Guy, I heard Guy say, I heard you're saying, Guy, is very similar to that, where it's like, hey, if you have this tangible issue, this problem that you need taken care of, I can help and assist in that. And I think if you just understand what room you're in and who you're talking to, man, you can really, you figure out what their biggest problem is and just push on that pain and say, I'm the guy that's going to solve this for you. Love it.
I'll take it one step further. Some of the realtors are now coming to me on skip traces.
Yeah.
So a lot of the realtors, and I can't remember what the form is, but there's a form where if you bought a house and it's an investment and you sold it, you can reinvest into another house quickly. It's some
1031.
Form A.
Yeah.
Thank you, 1031. So there's a lot of real estate agents here in Oregon that are constantly looking for houses for 1031 clients. And they'll find a house and they'll want to know who the owner is or who the relatives of the owner because he passed away are. And so I'm doing a lot of skip traces for those real estate agents as well to find relatives of the homeowner so they can try to make a deal on the house, which has been kind of a surprise. It wasn't a business I thought of. Actually, I had a couple of real estate agents come to me about that. And so that's, just, I'm always looking for places that are underserved, where they don't know who we are or how we could help, and we can. And so that's just one of those places that kind of showed up.
I love that. I love it. Yeah, in real estate, it's a common thing where we do what's called skip tracing. Well, we know it is process server skip tracing. You're like, oh, you got TLO or you got, Delve Point or whatever you're using to skip trace data, right? But in real estate, it's you get the data, but you get used to having more data than you need, and you just call all the numbers, or you email or text blast all the numbers, all the emails, right? And what happens is you need more of like sniper like data. And that's where having a process server is good. Now, those softwares that we use in real estate, like Batch or PropStream, they're terrible. Like the data is not great, to be honest with you. And this is why I kind of gave a go with Mighty Locator, trying to create one that is the level quality level data that we get as process servers, but for the real estate industry. And there's so many regulations and things that just made it almost impossible. And so maybe at some point I'll come back and throw a couple $100,000 at it, and maybe we'll solve it. But at this point, I wasn't ready to keep going down that road. But I want to give Lewis a chance. Lewis, what are you doing to get new customers?
Excuse me. Basically, I mean, what's worked for me is in my area. So I'm in like the San Francisco Bay Area, Northern California. So of course we got a big ABC legal presence. We got Proof Serve coming in, and then we got like Rapid Legal, Sterling Madison,
Mm.
DNR, all these companies that have been here for 30 plus years. Um, and I think we're like the second largest market in the country for law firms. I think New York's number one still, and we're second.
I can see that. Yeah.
So the thing that helps me is like looking different. A lot of, for example, when I was putting together my website, um, and when I was looking at my competitors, the ones that are ranking on Google search, I was looking at their sites and the way that their websites were put together. It was very professional, very legal, landscape oriented, where it was just a lot of words in your face, just a bunch of clutter.
Yeah.
So for a lot of people, it might be hard to navigate.
It's an ugly website, just be honest.
Yeah, just an ugly site. And but then it's like for me, the bigger thing was that a lot of the companies that have been here for a long time, they're actually pretty resistant to adopting technology. So they're still manually doing forms. They don't want to hire any of the services. They're NAPS members, they're CALS Pro members, but they're not utilizing stuff. So that it's streamlining. It's so I had a little bit of an advantage in regards to kind of just coming in very easily on the Google search ranking.
Yeah.
And so for the keywords that I wanted to market to, I'm kind of stuck in between fourth and fifth. I'm like right below ABC, NAPS, Yelp, and then the county clerk's office.
How are you doing on Google My Business?
So so I'm having problems with Google My Business right now. So I had another office in downtown San Jose, and I updated the address for my new location and then wanted a video verification. I've done that 3 times and they keep bouncing back. And it's ridiculous. Literally, they're in Mountain View, and I served for Google before. That was a joke. But it's just ridiculous.
That's the biggest pain. I tell people, and I tell people inside the community too in the class, and then I've updated the video where Google My Business it used to be so easy. There's actually a coach that was charging money teaching you how to open a Google My Business location in all these different areas. And because of that, people started doing it at scale. Like I'm talking thousands of people were trying to open up fake locations across the country. So Google has really smacked down. Basically what they do is they'll take an address of a UPS store or a mailbox, etc., or FedEx, and it's like blacklisted. So if you have a box there, it won't verify with the letter. It'll just immediately suspend it. So the only thing what I've recommended people doing is getting an office inside of an office. If you have an attorney or somebody like that say, hey, could I use your address for for a few months? And if I get any mail, you could give it to me so I could verify my listing. I'm trying to get an address close to the courthouse. But I could see that working very well. because you're building a relationship, right? And you say, I'll serve for you. I'll give you guys a discount on our serves there, assuming it's already going well. They should be okay with it.
Yeah, I think again the other thing is that you know, as big as the area is as far as like law firms, it's a very limited amount of servers, actual like companies. There's a lot of individuals that work
Mhm.
for ABC, that work for Proof or
Mm.
registry a process server and don't really know how to go about it. Um, so I think the most difficult part for me that I'm struggling with is I've always done stuff for myself, and so I don't know how the process works. Like I've done like affiliate like other process servers like to go out and you know do work for them or send
Yeah.
work to them, but I've never done the process of actually having a process server that works for me, not like someone that just like does one offs.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to figure out what are the processes to have like an in-house servers.
Is it
Um,
okay if I give you some coaching?
sure.
Okay, so listening to you talk about your website and the details and the integration and all this stuff, you sound like an integrator.
Hmm.
And there's something called a visionary and an integrator, and none of it is like 100% okay. This is just like some real estate stuff that I've found to be very true and very effective. Okay, you have a visionary and you have an integrator. If you ever partner with somebody, you never want two visionaries. It's
Hmm.
like having two optimists that are like, let's go, and then they go broke and bankrupt, and they're like, what happened? And they're like, well, we didn't pay our bills, or we didn't do, and an integrator is somebody who's very much like, okay, well, let's check the boxes and let's, my SEO ranking and my other competitors and where they're landing and where they're. And so listening to you talk, I'm like, this guy's an integrator and I'm a visionary. So an integrate, you start to recognize this in other people, and it's super powerful for your operation side. So you can be a visionary too. I'm not that's I hope you get that part. It doesn't mean you can't have a vision and be a visionary too, but your superpower, so just listening to you right now, just in a short time here, it would be an integrator. How does that help you? So when you start hiring process servers, you don't want visionaries. Why do you think that is?
I don't.
Because they're going to be your competitor. They're
Uh,
optimists.
hmm.
They want to go out. Now, I don't want you to run your business based on fear, but this is a very well-known fact. You don't want the go-getter killer, instinct guy going out there and like serving for you. So what you want to do is you want to like what Jeff is saying is exactly right. Don't worry about your competition. You just set in your mind, I am going to be the best. How is that going to happen? The website stuff you were saying, 100% true. I wouldn't worry so much about where you rank organically yet. That comes later. I would worry more about your Google My Business listing, getting that thing going, getting as many reviews on there as you can. You're up against DNR.
Yeah.
That's tough. Jeff is Jason Burke. He's a killer. He's a good guy though too. Do you know him?
No, I've heard of him. I haven't met him
Yeah,
yet.
he comes on here a lot actually. He's been on quite a few of our meetings. He's a great guy to serve for and also to work with. Jeff, you got a comment?
Yeah, just 2 seconds on Lewis and Google My Business. Thanks to Mike. Mike worked with me one day on Google My Business. We went through a couple steps on there to make it proper, change the word from legal service to a process server, I think it was. I can't remember. I did go to the expense of, after I got the addresses in these other cities, I did go to Naps and buy add a new listing for that city. And I got calls the first 5 days that that listing went live. I got calls when people put in the zip code and they saw my listing there. So Google My Business is very important. Get your people to leave a review on there. That's very important too. If you have 5 or more, that helps you move up in the ranking there when people go search for a process server.
Love that. Love that, Jeff. So
So
Lewis, you're getting so like when it comes to hiring servers, every server, I've hired notaries. I've hired, it's very transactional when you first start doing it, and that's okay. And in California, the main rule, the main thing that you want to make sure of is just you find out how much they charge. You don't tell them how much you charge. You'll pay. You say like, how much do you charge? They tell you how much they charge. If it's too much, You tell them, well, it's a little bit too out of my price range. I'm gonna shop around a little, but or you don't even have to tell them that. You just say, okay, I'll let you know, right? And then you call another person, another person. Now, one thing I will tell you, because when you're in California, this is, oh man, I should not tell you. This is gold for California people. Probably every place, but California specifically, our licenses are governed. I say our, I'm not even registered there anymore. And I don't mean license, I mean registration. Our registrations are governed by the local county. And so if you go to the county recorder's office where you had to go and get your bond and you got your registration number, that is public information. So you can tell them, hey, I would like a list of all the local servers that are registered, currently registered. And you might have to pay a couple bucks and you can get it. If they tell you, oh, we can't do that, trust me. You'd be like, Freedom of Information Act request form, give me the names. If you have to skip trace them, skip trace them. I've only done that a couple times. But now you're getting those individuals who got registered because they were optimists and then they realized they had to market themselves and then they just didn't serve anything. And now you can teach them how to serve. You can pay them, start them off at, ask them, say, hey, you're your own independent contractor. You have to get your own LLC and pay that monthly or that yearly LLC fee. That's how you're going to best protect yourself, is making sure they have an LLC or a corporation and they're not an individual, because an LLC or a corporation does not have those same rights as an individual. And if they're an LLC or a corporation, you can't get in trouble for not paying unemployment insurance on them.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So when you said you're not sure about hiring servers, is that what you were talking about, or is there something different?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much that. I mean, usually like I'll just, have someone do the work, but then a lot of times it's kind of hard because sometimes they're not always available.
Yep.
So that's why I think for me, I'm always very cautious like as accepting new work. I recently
Yeah.
turned down our county's family law division for serving their documents because the volume was way too high, and I was like, I don't know how I
Wait
can't
a
do.
minute. Wait a minute. Hold on. So wait a minute. So the family law, you did a request for proposal, submitted it, and and it was too
Yeah,
much, or they just knew you serve or called
they,
you?
they knew I served, so I got a couple friends that work at the courthouse,
Mm,
family law, and so they put a recommendation in for me, and they
okay.
reached out. I went down there and met with the lady that is in charge of facilitating that,
Mm-hmm.
and she threw a number at me, and I was just like, no way, how I'm gonna be able to do that. That's way too much
Oh, per serve or the volume?
volume.
Okay, so
So,
volume can always be taken care of. Everybody loves to serve for the right price, right? So how much to well, I don't know if you want to share that, but
well, there was different types of service that
Mhm,
they had. So they had a like a general number of each, and then obviously the overall. But for Santa Clara County family law, they were numbering thousands of tens of thousands of serves on a monthly basis.
mhm,
Different types of notices, different types of documents.
mhm.
Um,
So would you have a contract with them if you did it?
yeah, it basically it was just a bid. So it would be there was a
Mhm,
range in money for the bid. And
mhm.
if there was like a request for more, then I would have to submit a form and justify the increase.
So
But
Lewis, you don't like being behind the wheel, huh?
I just because just I'm working with a buddy of mine now. I brought him on board with me, but before it was just me,
Nice.
and so I've never done that. I never had. uh, For me, I was always more comfortable with one-offs because
Okay.
that's I've always felt.
All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. You're gonna borrow my overconfidence. Okay. You're going to borrow some of it and you are going to go get that contract. And you're going to come on this meeting once a month. I'll meet with you every day, dude, until you listen. Those contracts, sometimes the issue with them is that they don't pay for non-service. Okay, I get that. If that's the deal, then no, don't do it, because that you're just spinning your wheels and you're not, it's not a fair deal. But if they're willing to pay a certain amount per serve, I said it's different per contract, per type of document or whatever. Um, how far do I want to go down here on this? So what I used to do is I would submit for those. That was something I specialized in. I would go to all the counties. I would submit a request for proposal. They would do a request for proposal. I would submit my bid, and it didn't matter what type of document it is. I'm a glorified courier, right? I'm knocking on the door and I'm giving them the paper. It doesn't matter what type of document it is. Even temporary restraining orders I didn't charge more for, right? And so if I get the paper, if they'll use my system to automate it,
Hmm.
okay, I went into their office where they have this big projector and there was 30 people in there, and I actually went through Serve Manager at the time. That's what I used at the time, and I showed them how to enter a new job, right? I showed them how to change their password, how to manage their account in Serve Manager. And I said, if you will enter in the serves into the system, I will do it for $59 a serve. And so for me, I was charging $99 a serve at the time on my website. Now it's like 147 or something. So at $99 a serve on my website, they were getting a discount down to 59. This is one of the reasons why on your website you want to keep it higher. So when you give a discount, you still don't lose your shirt.
Yeah.
Now, if you get 10,000 jobs a month, you're like, how am I supposed to do that? Well, if you have that kind of contract, you can literally go down to the bank and say, I have a contract on this business for this amount of serves. I would like to get a loan. And you could literally hire employees to serve it for you
Hmm.
at 15 bucks an hour. Right? You see what I'm saying? Like, so whatever the problem is, as an entrepreneur, your number one job is to solve problems. And I love that you brought this up, because if it's the kind of problems we want to have. You know
Yeah,
what
I
I'm
think
saying? You got poor people problems and you got rich people problems. Brother, you have rich people problems.
I've always been very fearful of scaling. Like I always feel like it's like one of the things I feel like I always needed to work on.
You're an integrator. That's what you do. It's fine. It's totally fine. You just either partner with somebody who's like, Lewis, let's go. And you're like, yeah, but let me check the numbers. And you're going to keep him from going bankrupt.
Mhm.
Right? How is your friend that you talked about? How's your friend? How is he?
He's definitely a go-getter. He's
Okay.
definitely more comfortable. I mean, I'm a very social person.
Mhm.
For some reason, like when in like the public me and the professional me, they don't mix.
Mhm.
So it's like they hate each other. In a business setting, it's
Eh,
always been very different. So I'm a lot more timid, a lot more
mhm.
cautious. And so
Have you ever done a personality test?
um, I don't, not per se, I'd say a personality test. I've
There's a
definitely
website called understand.me. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
looked that up.
Understand.me. That's yeah, I put it in the thing. Understand.me. And it used to all be free. Now they have some things that charge for, but anyway, it's a summary of all the different personality websites. And yeah, here you go. Yeah, it's a ClickFunnels site. They're trying to make money, but there used to be a bunch of free ones. Just trying to track my browser here. Wow, they've really upgraded this. I was around when they first launched this. Anyway, understand.me. You could go through there, take the personality test that they have. And one of them is it talks about whether you're an integrator or a visionary, and how much on the scale, and your financial aptitude. Like if you're afraid to spend because of your childhood, like it'll tell you that. You'll have to answer a bunch of questions. But it's so valuable to know that, because then when you start to partner with people, if you partner with another integrator that's exactly the same as you, you're not going to grow a business. It's very, very low chance of growing a business, because you're going to be super conservative. And in order to grow a business, you need to take some risks. And so either you just know that about yourself and you go different than what you would normally do, right? You're like, I would normally just like say no to this, but I know in order to grow my business, I have to come out of my shell and do it. So that's possible too. So you could do that. That could be the thing too. But I'm excited for you, Lewis. Can you report back next month or next week
Yeah.
or even in the
Um,
community?
I'll reach back out to them and see if it's still available and
Yeah.
see if we can
If
talk.
it's not, it comes up every year or every 3 years or something, right?
Yeah, I think this time they wanted a little bit longer. I think they wanted a 5 year.
Okay.
But the way it's a little interesting, but basically it's a 5 year two-year cutoff. So I could do it for 2 years, extend it to 5 if I want, or just do the 2 years and split. They just,
Okay.
I guess the problem they had is that they had a lot of people, well, not a lot, but the people that were doing it, this last particular person, it was like 3 months, and then they just stopped doing it.
Mm.
So they
Yeah,
want to,
so there could be some other issue like they may not pay enough. You know, they may pay like $25 a serve or something like that.
I think, when the number wise, I mean, because I think the minimum per document, I think it was like $65.
Hmm.
I think.
I mean, if you have here's the way I look at this too, Lewis, just so you know, big picture, like if I'm charging a premium to the individual guy who wants to have his wife served, or he got served papers, now he wants me to serve her back, and even though he could just mail it or whatever, right? I'm charging that guy when he finds me online and he's good. I want him because he's gonna leave me reviews. He's gonna give me a good review. So I want him. When I'm driving across town getting paid a premium, $97. This is like level one when you're serving a lot of the papers yourself, which is a good level to be in. It's a good cash flow level. You're just working a lot, right? When you're driving across town getting paid $97 to go serve this, or 99, whatever your fee is, on the way, you have 7, 10, 12 serves to attempt. Every single time you go to get paid that premium, you're getting that 65, 65, 65, 65, 60. And maybe you don't serve them all. Maybe you only serve 2 of them. So now you got paid the 65, 65 plus 99 for that one trip across town. So that's where the volume on these jobs really come into play. Then you start looking, you find 3 servers in all the areas using the counties that I told you. Remember, you go to the county recorder's office, call them up, you call them. I have VAs that do this, by the way, in the Philippines that barely speak English. I have lists of all the counties, the county servers. We call them, we sell them websites, right? It's one of the things we do. Okay, Mighty Website Builder is one of my companies, right? So it's definitely possible. And then when you call these people, if you get the individuals, you're going to get people who are willing to only charge you $25, $35, and now you can actually get a profit from it. Does that make sense? Yeah. I'm excited for you, man. This is a place I had the 3 counties around me, plus I had all of the county or all the collection agencies. There were 5 big collection agencies. I had them all using me because but then you end up with 40, 50 buckets in your serves in your bucket. You're gonna need help.
Yeah.
And the best thing to do is to either hire employees because you have the volume. Okay. We could talk more about that too if you want. Like, it's really easy when you use something like gusto.com. It's like they'll do all the payroll for you. They'll process it all automatically. The people log in and log out using the system. Like, you can do this using automation really easily. I did it for a while where I just had servers serving everything. I wanted to try it. And then I realized like I'm a better server than them. And so I would go back out and serve 20, 30 papers a day at anywhere between $59 and $99 a piece. You know, you make easily $4,000 or $5,000 a day. So if that's your goal and you want to go out and serve, that's the way to do it. So we're going to wrap it up right now. But thanks so much, Jeff. Thanks, Lewis, Guy, Jessica. You guys are all awesome. If you don't have the rate sheet inside the community, I noticed, Guy, I searched for you. I didn't see you in the community. Mighty Process. Let me put the link here. Are you under a different name in there? I want to put the link to make sure you're in there so you get all the updates. I'm gonna put it in here. That's our community. It's free, 100% free. I mean, not to me, I pay money for it. Okay. But you guys can join the community for free. I have lots of different trainings in there. My goal here, obviously, I have a website company. So if you guys want websites, it's $500. That's the sponsor of the Roundtable, mightywebsitebuilder.com. And we build basically $10,000 websites for $500, and then you pay a monthly fee depending on the type of service you want. If you want online ordering, stuff like that. So Desi is awesome. She works for PST and she's my main designer. So she does, obviously, yeah. Jeff put his website in there. She does a great job. Jessica's website will be out pretty soon, which I'm excited to see. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I got nothing to sell you but websites, and if you got a website you love already, I'm not going to beat you up about it. Okay. Cool, guys. Anything else?
Go. Get the
Oh yeah,
camera.
let me get a picture. I want to promote this for next month. All right, this is what we do at the end. Let's see. Let's see the guns. You guys take some action, all right? We'll see you guys next month.
All right, be well, everybody.
Thank you.
Yep. Have a great day.